Hey, I'm Tyler Boronski alongside Kyle Stowers of the Miami Marlins. I was just joking with you earlier. I was like, I feel like you got a break from interviews for a bit for the longest time. Like, what point in the season do you feel like you reached the same amount of interviews you did probably the previous year?
Oh, gosh.
'Cause I feel like you're doing 3 or 4.
Yeah.
That was your average for a little bit.
I'd say probably right after opening day. I think I got more attention for this year than last year.
Fair enough, fair enough. What's that been like to handle now being kind of a face for a franchise, if I want to use that word? You know, just the more attention, media attention, fan interactions. Like, what's that been like to handle?
Yeah, I think as long as you're keeping the main thing, you know, it's always about what's happening on the field. And so as long as we're, you know, doing everything we can to get ready to play and making sure that we're, you know, handling our business the right way, treating people the right way, preparing, all that stuff, you know, all the added stuff can be just, you know, a lot of fun. And so I just, you know, try to enjoy it when you get those opportunities, and then, but still keeping, you know, what happens on the field is the main thing.
Riding the highs for most of the season until, you know, the series in Boston, the oblique injury, then Grant had to go and copy you, you know, the next day or something like that. But what's that been like to mentally handle, knowing that, you know, the team's still in the playoff race? What's that been like to handle the lows of that part?
Yeah, I think obviously something that's part of the game. For me personally, it's been, you know, very challenging. You know, I think for one, because, you know, what we're here to do is to play. I mean, you know, I'm a baseball player, and so when I'm not able to compete on the field, that's, you know, really challenging. You don't feel like you're able to do what you're supposed to be doing. Then, you know, especially as the season ends, you want to finish strong, and you know, and then being in the playoff race, you just want to contribute and being part of it. You know, obviously it's been so much fun in this clubhouse down the stretch. You know, still having a shot all the way up until like 4 or 5 games left, I think was really special. Obviously made me want to be on the field that much more. But you know, yeah, it's challenging. But you know, just like you know, challenging circumstances on the field, you learn from it, you grow from it. You know, hopefully become a more complete version of who God has designed me to be.
To that point, in the playoff contention until the last 4 games. What can you say about the job Clayton's done this year, first year at the helm? He'll be the first to say, you know, still learning, obviously, going through it. What do you say about, you know, kind of the job he's done?
Yeah, he's done an amazing job. He's been a great leader for us in the clubhouse. Very steady presence. I think from day one, you know, has invested a lot into us as, you know, people first and foremost. I think he genuinely cares about, you know, who we are as people, and then, you know, and then obviously we hold ourselves. He's helped, you know, raise the standards that we hold ourselves on the field, and not just with winning or losing, but just how we play the game, how we prepare. You know, he's really set the bar high and in a good way that, you know, has, I think, gotten a lot out of us players.
One thing he has done, you know, this franchise as a whole, they're not afraid to experiment, to try new things out. Obviously, you see with the pitch calling from the dugout now, like lineup construction, he's moved that around this year. Bullpen use, like all those guys have probably had a high leverage scenario at one point this year. What does that say about an organization that not afraid to try out new things, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's a tough league. You know, every single team is trying to get better, whether they, you know, whether you win the World Series or not, the next year you're trying to come in and improve, and how can you be more efficient, you know, just, you know, inch closer to you know, this chase for perfection, if you will. But at the end of the day, all the stuff that we're doing here is to try to win more games, right? And, you know, we've been able to kind of play around with some things, figure out what works for us. And I think, you know, early on in the year, maybe, you know, was some newness, but as that started to wear off, and as we got more into the season, I think we really started to figure out, you know, kind of the formula that works for us. You know, maybe some of the stuff is less traditional, but, you know, honestly, I think all of us as, you know, players, staff, front office, you know, fans, hopefully too, like, you just want to win, right? So whatever it takes to, you know, bring more wins on the field, you know, if that's doing something that's a little unorthodox, then, you know, sign me up for that if it means more wins.
So it's been fun to follow you guys this year. You know, we'll see how next year shapes up. So
thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Hey, yeah, I be flying with the angels every day, yeah. I play this fool, but life is great, fam. Ooh, I work 60 hours a day, man. Yeah, I'm built to grind, it's my escape plan.